each of you is working in education in different ways. Each of you saw something about that intrigued you. What do you think, for your purposes, what do you think the purpose of education is? How should we be thinking about education? Wendy, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Well, I guess I would say, I mean, just in the context in which we're working, which is basically in the most, we're working with the most disadvantaged kids who are growing up facing enormous additional challenges in the most under-resourced communities in the world. And I think about the purpose of education being, how do we give these kids the academic skills, the mindsets, the access to various pathways of opportunity that would enable them to get on a trajectory to fulfilling their true potential, in the most ambitious of senses, that would truly change their trajectory and give them access to a completely different world of choice and opportunity than they would otherwise have.
Mike?
I think it's all about freedom. If we do our jobs right after the kids 12, 13, 14, 15 years of education, they have the freedom to go do in this world what they want to do. All the doors are open. If they want to go to a 4-year college or university, they can. They want to go to a 2-year community college, technical school, trade school, they can. Join the military, they can. Be an entrepreneur, they can. And even that's the means to the end. Those are, depending on what they want to do, those are the gateways to the end of the day for them to simply have the freedom to do in this world what they want to do.
You have to excuse my voice. I'm losing it, but I think it's enough for the panel. I basically think that, coming from such difficult schools in poverty in developing countries, education is the only thing they have, the only possibility they have of being someone in life. So we have to think creatively of how to promote these skills, knowledge, attitudes, behaviors, to really promote students for learning to learn. And this is crucial, but not only for learning, to learn, but also how to live peacefully and how to foster. I was so happy to see the picture of Jean Dewey, because for us, he was the great inspirator. The intimate relationship between the way you learn, the pedagogy, and citizenship, and democracy, and participation. So for me, this is crucial.
So I come at it from a different perspective, which is what happens after you've had your formal education and you're now sitting in a global company. And I think about it really from the perspective, and Tim, I was struck by what you said, which is how do you make sure that the people have the right mindsets, your employees have the right mindsets, which drive the right behaviors, which then enable you to build their capability and their skills so that you can drive business results. So I just had a different sort of point of view given where I sit.
And each of you has taken a different lever. Each of you has looked at a different aspect of infrastructure, and some of that's pedagogy, some of it's curriculum, some of it's about building a new structure that didn't exist before. And some of the curricular aspects you've brought in, whether it's character or growth mindset or building on some of the best pedagogies we normally see for the most affluent of children and bringing them into schools where you wouldn't normally see them. Tell us a little bit about the particular bent that you bring to your work in education. So what is the thing that you've chosen as the lever, and what was so interesting about it for you? Why don't you start, David? Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing at Amex.
Yeah, so one of the things we're doing, Jennifer alluded to this, is really trying to bring a growth mindset to American Express, and this is based on the research by Carol Dweck at Stanford University, actually, and it's the whole idea that your skills and capabilities, your mindset, your ability really is not fixed, and people can learn and grow, and you really need to start from that place, as opposed to having a fixed mindset, which is you're sort of born with what you've got, and that's about as good as you're going to get. And these are folks that really welcome and seek feedback versus feel criticized and things like that. They take on challenges and risks versus trying to play it safe in order to look smart or always get the A, if you will. And they're people who are willing to fail, really, and learn from that failure instead of getting penalized or feeling like they'd be penalized if they were to do that. And one of the knowledge infrastructure pieces that we have in place that can either help or hurt that at Amex, and this is something we're trying to tackle with Tim's folks actually, is how does your performance management process both recognize and reward and measure it so that you're actually driving that growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And I'll be honest, we started in a place, or we're in the process of transitioning from a place where our current process today encourages folks to have a fixed mindset instead of a growth mindset. So we're going to make that graduation here.